This is Chef Chris with Empire Bakery Equipment. Now that you've had your MiniTube successfully installed by an Empire Bakery technician, we're going to start it up and get the curing process going, which is taking the excess moisture out of the stones to prevent any type of cracking in the stones as it's heated up. We're going to start at 300 and then every hour increase 50 degrees until we reach 500. First step to our MiniTube oven is powering it up, turning it on. You're going to come in here, you're going to set your oven, you're going to use your up arrow button to get yourself up to 300. You're going to hit set to set it. Once it gets up to temperature 300, you're going to let it sit there for an hour before you increase the temperature again. And after an hour, we're going to increase it 50 degrees every hour after that until we reach 500. Set it, and once it reaches temperature at 350, you let it sit there for an hour. After that hour, you come in, we'll raise it up to 400, set it, and once it reaches 400, let it sit there for an hour. Come back in again, bring it up to 450, set it, let it reach temperature, let it sit there for an hour. And we're going to come in one more time, hit our set, bring it up to 500, set it, let it get up to temperature, let it sit there for 1 hour, and there you have your oven stones nice and cured. When turning on your oven, it's always best to use your emergency stop button to turn it on and off. So if you see the red light and your on-off button here, turn it on to activate your panel, and then continue to use your emergency button for your on-off. Now here you have your burner button. You always want to make sure your red light's on to make sure your burner is active. Then here you have your steam extractor fan. You're not going to want to have your steam extractor fan on for regular operation. You're only going to use this if you want to get steam out of the oven or to rapidly cool your oven. And then you have your light switch on and off here. Then you have these 4 other buttons which are used in your initial programming and then not used again after. First step to our MiniTube oven is powering it up, turning it on, and setting our temperature to our desired temp. We'll raise this one up to 450. We'll come back up here, hit our set button, so we know we have a solid flashing, solid number. Come back, hit set again just to make sure we're set at 450 and we are good to go. The 72 degrees you'll see is your current temperature inside the oven. You hit your set button, you'll see what your set temperature is, and that is your current temperature. You'll notice on this panel for our deck oven, we only have 4 decks lit up because we're using a 4-deck oven. There is an optional 5th deck for this oven. If you were to have that, then you will notice this 5th line would be lit up as well. So now we're going to take you the rest of the way through the startup process. So down here, you'll have your set buttons. So if you want to set the time, you press the clock button, then you choose which deck you're setting the time for. Then you'll come back down here and scroll up or down, depending on what time you want set. So we're going to set it for 20 minutes. You come back and hit the clock and it's set. Now we want to set the steam for the same deck. You come down here and you hit the steam button and you choose which deck you want to set it for. We're going to set it for the same deck. We're going to raise it up to 5 seconds. Hit the set button again and you are set. And same feature for the rest of the decks. You come over, hit the clock, hit the start button here. We got our flashing 10. We'll scroll that up to 15. Hit our clock button, that sets it in place. And again, with the steam, you hit the set, then your start button, you get your flashing number, scroll it up or scroll it down to the time and to the amount of steam that you want, hit your set button, and now that deck is set. We'll come over, hit our clock button, choose our next deck, choose our time on that deck, hit our clock to save it, come back, hit our set button for our steam. We get our flashing numbers there, so we'll scroll up or down depending on what we want. Hit the set button again, and now that deck is set. And again, with the last deck that we have, we will hit our clock button, choose which one we want. We'll scroll down to 20 minutes, hit our clock button again to set it, so we know it's solid, so we know it's set. And then we'll take our steam set button, choose this deck again. We got our flashing 4, so we'll scroll down, give it 3-second set of steam, and we'll hit our set button again. And there you go, you have all 4 decks set. And now if you want to set your temperature, you're gonna come up here to hit your set button, and you will choose which temperature you want by using your up or down arrows. We'll bring this one down to 450. Now, if you just didn't do anything here and let it keep flashing, it'll eventually stop flashing, but it'll be set back to the temperature it was originally set for. You have to hit the set button to set it firmly, and you can hit the set button again to check to make sure that your temperature is set for where you want it. Then we'll scroll back down here. You have your burner button. You just want to make sure that that's on, your LED light is on, so you know your burner is on. And anytime you want to inject steam into your oven, whether it's at the beginning of your bake or any time thereafter, you'll just choose the deck that you want to inject your steam in and come over and press the start button, and you'll get your deck loaded with steam. And those are all the functions for the MiniTube. Okay, now we're going to show you how to maintain and clean your MiniTube deck oven. Let's pop open your first deck. Go right in, all the way to the back. Pull your flour, crumb, cornmeal, whatever you may have in there to the front. Give it a few different pulls, make sure you get all the fine dust off of there as well. And you can come in here, use your scraper to pick some of the crumbs up, get them out of there, get them out of your way. Or you can use one of our metal heat-resistant vacuums. Definitely wouldn't recommend using a plastic because in the hot oven, you're just gonna melt your plastic. Once the oven's cool, you can come in with your stainless steel polish, give it a few little sprays. Wipe down all your decks, all the stainless steel outside. And on your MiniTube, you'll see up here in the glass, you have 4 Allen key bolts. You'll use your Allen keys. You can loosen these right up, take these out, take the glass out, wash front and back, put it right back in. It'll keep it looking like new, and you can see all your bread popping and rising. And that's how you maintain and clean your MiniTube deck oven. If you have any questions regarding service and maintenance of any of your Empire equipment, you can either call your sales rep or call our service department at 1-800-878-4070.